definitely opened up a lot more opportunities for us on the revenue side. We were traditionally a linear broadcast business where our major revenue source was just the advertising, and then with the evolution of the players like Netflix and Amazon Instant, we've seen a huge growth in our digital business, where streaming has overtaken our traditional advertising and traditional DVD business. So certainly been hugely valuable to us on the revenue side. On the operational side, a lot of the new technology that's in the market, including cameras, have been built so that the content goes instantaneously into a cloud environment. So the whole production workflow has changed quite dramatically for us, where we are managing our content on the cloud, and we're editing it real time on the cloud, which again has reduced dramatically the amount of time it takes us to edit the content and to make it where traditionally it was a lot of physical tapes moving from one facility to the other to be edited, and before it was broadcast.
Over the years, publishers have enjoyed an amazing amount of success in good economies where you just raise prices, revise textbooks as fast as you can, shove them out, and make kids buy them. And with 50% retention rates in most public universities and 20% in community colleges, a lot of these institutions can't afford to even survive anymore. So now it's about recruitment, retaining the kids, and results. And results mean that they learn, they get good grades, and they get jobs.
So at Constant Contact, we serve micro businesses. I don't know, 300 or 400,000 of our 600,000 customers employ less than 10 people. So these aren't large businesses.
These are small.
And so the great thing about Constant Contact is we've been part of that disruption that's been occurring over the last 15 years in terms of digital marketing, taking away from print marketing. And so we've been able to take advantage of that and create value. What's now happening with the SMB space is the proliferation of digital is overwhelming the capacity of these small businesses to keep up. So there's a statistic that is thrown around that the average small business gets 32 calls a month from someone who's offering some sort of digital marketing activity. And if you think about the florist who became a florist, they didn't become a florist because one day they woke up and said, God, I have a real passion for marketing and my outlet is being a florist. They had a real passion for plants and their outlet, oh, by the way, I have to do marketing. And by the way, more of that is digital, and I don't understand it. So I think part of the challenge companies like we have and the opportunity is, how do we take the power of digital marketing and digital to these small businesses who don't have big tech staffs, who don't have that proficiency, and create value for them? So that's the opportunity. On the flip side, internally, the great thing, I think we were speaking about it earlier, the great thing is we're gaining access to so much more data and information. But it's almost like in technology, you talk about tech debt. I'm starting to talk about, and within the four walls of Constant Contact, data debt. It's almost paralyzing the organization. It's just so much. So we're getting containers to store the information. We hire data scientists to extract it. But it's just overwhelming the organization. And in some sense, it's starting to slow us down. And so we need to invest in the basic foundation to take advantage of it. And that's something we're talking about a lot at Constant Contact.
Hey, Vinay, you have an interesting role. You're not only the CFO, and the way you guys are organized at WGBH, the CIO is really more on the production side, and so you have all of the administrative systems. So you have a dual hat, kind of. You're CFO and more of a classical CIO, right? Tell us a little bit about your experience in terms of some of your key challenges in both your CFO role and overseeing IT.
So you and I talked 2 years ago about this evolution of the CFO taking on the business systems and driving the agenda on the business side. And I have to say, a year later now, I'm wishing I didn't do that. Because, as business people, we don't know how to put in systems. And while cloud was a great idea and we went through the evolution of putting in cloud systems, we don't understand concepts like change management and managing IT projects. And we've come to realize that in the end, it doesn't matter if it's a cloud system or a traditional IT system. Some of the same principles still make sense and still have to be there. And so we've gone through this evolution. We put in our a bunch of cloud business systems. And now we're going back to IT and saying, hey, we need your help actually. Could you help us a little on project management? Could you help us understand the concepts of change management and release management? So I do think there's a balance between what the business people do and where we do need to go back to the CIO's office and leverage the CIO. I would say, again, I think there's a maturity curve when you're putting in a cloud system on the finance side. We did it initially thinking that really what we would get most out of putting in a cloud system is deeper data analytics. We are going through the same challenge where we have too much data now and we don't know what to analyze. But where we've seen the immediate benefit is better integration of the data between the different touch points, which has also caused a lot of aggravation because people are realizing that when somebody in HR makes a change to an employee's benefit information, it falls through all the way to change in the payroll and on the ledger. So I think it's given us a much more awareness across the organization on the fact that there's actually, while we are in the cloud and we have these integrated systems now, we all have to be a little more sensitive as to what impact we're going to have to another department when we touch the data.